Okay, so I want to give you a little bit of a background. You know, since I kind of ended with talking about ethics, one of the things is we need to bring an international coalition of people to think of ethics, to think of how to keep AI safe for people. And Sophie is someone who is doing an amazing job. Of her organization is doing a great job of looking at the future and saying, what does it take to keep the world safe in this post-AI era? With that, it's not Sophie yet. There she is. Okay.
Hello. Hi, so my name is Sophie Surret. I'm the executive director of Everyone AI. So it's a nonprofit based in California. And I also lead the international coalition Lakshmi just mentioned. And we work with governments, tech industry, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Microsoft, also labs from university, Berkeley, of course, Stanford, Harvard, and more, and 50 NGOs, and UNESCO, UNICEF, and United Nations. So it's really like international. Can you go next slide? So our mission is to, next one. Our mission is to anticipate, thank you. Our mission is to anticipate, educate, and evaluate about the risks and the opportunities of AI for 0 to 25-year-old. And we are very neuroscience-based because the brain develops until 25. And this is something that we say a lot in the Silicon Valley, and maybe you heard that already, is like AI is not good or bad. It's like a kitchen knife. It depends how you use it. So I would like you to raise your hand if you already heard that first. Just two, 3 hands. And can you raise your hand if you agree with that? AI is not good or bad, it just depends on how you use it. Okay, everybody. But at Everyone AI, we're just wondering, is it really just a tool, and can we really put that tool in everybody's hand? Because some people may not have the fine motor skills to use it. Some people may not have the knowledge or the experience to understand the consequences of using that tool. Do you agree that we may think twice before putting that tool in everybody's hand? I see everybody looking. Yeah, thank you for voting. And just to come back to the knife, there's a lot of things we can do to make it safe, to have the human in the loop, to have the parents, but also to adapt what task can be appropriate for that child and for the specific age. So just a quick neuroscience fact. Why do we care about children? Why it's so important to have a focus on children when we talk about AI? So first, the brain develops until 25, and there's really like 2 things that will impact the brain development. So genetics, which means, for example, every child around the world learn their first word or say their first words around 1 year old. This is really connected to genetics. But then also the environment, like where you live and how the environment will really impact on the child learn and what it learns. For example, I learned English after my windows of development, after 8 years old, and you can hear that. And even if I tried really hard, I still have an accent. And this is because my environment didn't offer to learn English early. And I missed the windows of development. So just a focus on the windows of development, like we are learning a lot of different skills between 0 and 25, and we really have to protect those things. So, as I mentioned, language is more like before 10. After 10, you can still learn new languages, but it's harder. And there's a lot of very important things, like knowing the difference between imagination and reality. This is really some skill you want the people have. Also knowing how to interact with others. If AI is like the best friend or a 4 years old when they're supposed to learn empathy, interacting with each other, that might be actually really an issue after in life. So we really have an issue with how the products are developed right now. So just to try to explain, and even if it's a bit simplified, today companies are really investing a lot of money when they develop a product, a lot of money when they do marketing to scale, and then only we realize if it can cause harms and victims. unless the physical world, when a product will never ever be launched in the physical world if it doesn't go through a certain standards, apply to regulation. For some reason, we don't have that at all for our digital world, which is totally an issue. And then, only after harms and victims are proven, only then regulators try to regulate. And of course, it's hard because so much money was invested that when they want to regulate, then there's some lobbyists who want to protect their business. And I'm sure you all have maybe a good example in mind. Social media is a good example. Countries are trying to regulate, and it's extremely hard because it was so much money already invested, and people are already addicted. So let's try to do something else. And I've also often asked, what is the solution? Is it regulation or education? I would love to have your opinion on that. What is the best solution to build safeguards? Can you raise your hand if you think it's regulation? Okay, I repeat the question. Can you raise your hand if you think that to have safe product, the best answer is regulation? Just, okay, 10. Do you think it's education? Most of you. Do you think we need both? Yes, thank you. And do you think we might miss actually the most important part to make products safe? So the answer will be in this little story. Okay, let's just go back. Let's just put AI away. Can you imagine there is a fire in a town? Okay, the whole houses are on fire. You can handle a bucket of water to every single house. So every single house can try to stop the fire on their own house. Or you can try to have some regulation that can separate the house so then when one house is on fire, then the second one is not directly on fire. And this is actually how the houses are built, right? There's some space. And so then if one house is on fire, the next one is not going on fire right away. So there's some security reason, there's some regulation that can help. But what is the third one? What about we just try to do our best so the very first house doesn't go on fire? And when we talk about AI, giving a bucket of water, if the products are unsafe and available to everyone, this is as hard as giving one bucket of water to every single house. If the products are unsafe and available, this is a lot of work to keep the people safe. So we need regulation, for sure. And as I mentioned, regulation comes only after harms and victims are proven. We worked with the European Commission. Even if Europe is supposed to be one of the first to regulate, seriously, they are waiting too much for having harms and victims to regulate. So let's anticipate and let's make sure that the product, when it goes on the market, is actually safe. And this is what we are doing with AI Raise Coalition, is really like bringing researchers and workers ahead of the launch of the product. For some reason, founders are very excited, and I totally understand that, and I know there is a lot of founders in that room. So please keep excitement about the potential of your product, and just try to brainstorm about what can be wrong, how it can go wrong. How can it impact the users? How can it impact the relationship between humans? And also how it can impact the society. We really have to do it before the launch. And then the right things to do becomes a standard. And then we have to regulate, because there is no reason that one small company who doesn't care about their users are taking the market share. So regulation will be much easier. And of course, we all agree we need education. But I really advocate for having education to use the potential of AI. Education shouldn't be in place to protect the users from harms and dangerous behavior. The education shouldn't be to protect. The education should be to leverage the potential of AI. This is my talk. Thank you so much.